Shanti. Welcome all of you to the mini workshop on knowledge. So we'll just take a minute of silence. Enjoy this beautiful background music of the flute. Along with this music, it is so soothing to the ears.
Knowledge वर आहे आज.
Tell myself
knowledge aspects of the knowledge.
that today let me try to inculcate the cause of knowledge in my life. So whatever I experience from today's session, I would like to practice that in my personal and professional life. Try to use today's experience, which I have learned from them, and try to make my life an embodiment of knowledge as much as I can. Oh. So, welcome back, all of you. Good to see more than 20 participants have already joined, and it's a pleasure to be with you all again. Don't get disheartened that there are less people. People will join later. So let's start. I would just share the screen and show you what we have done so far on our journey of the mini workshops. So as you can see, we started this 4.5 months ago in December. We had these values series, values for life series talks, and corresponding to that, 1 week later, we do the workshops as well. So in December, we did on sacrifice or renunciation, contentment, and acceptance, 3 beautiful values. Then in the month of January, which all of us celebrate as the Avyakt Mass, the month of attaining completion, the month of attaining perfection, we covered 3 very important values closely related to becoming an embodiment of perfection. That was accuracy, introspection, introversion, and concentration. Then the month of February, a special month for all of us from the Lokik point of view as well, the month of love. So we covered 3 episodes of love as well. And then later in March, last month, we covered on benevolence and determination. So this is our journey so far. And today we now move on to, in the month of April, knowledge. And before we move on to the workshop, let me just introduce myself. I'm Manoj. I specialize in kidney problems in children, and I'm associated with values workshop since a long time now, and also with Vihasa since 6.5 years. And with me, I have, if my co-facilitators can on their video, it will be great. So I have with me Sister Prabha, who's from Delhi. Then I have Sister Preeti, who's also a doctor working for the government of Bihar, government of India as well. And she is also joining from Delhi. And we have Sister Kosha, who is related to the IT field, and she's joining in from Mumbai. So welcome all 3 co-facilitators. And also we have our esteemed guest with us as usual, always Dr. Ashok Mehta. And I mean, it's really amazing that diligently when I just call up, he just is all the way ready to join the workshop. So thank you so much, Dr. Ashok Mehta, for joining as usual. And before we start, and before I hand it on to the co-facilitators for the first exercise, I would request Dr. Ashok Mehta to please say a few words of inspiration for the session.
Manoj bhai, first thing is I must thank you and the group for continuing with this beautiful program of Values for Life. And I think you are contributing a lot. Again, these programs are all recorded, so they are available for the rest of the world to see and to enjoy. You have had some of the finest speakers from our Yagya, and I think this is a very good opportunity of meeting them on the Zoom face to face. Thank you very much once again. And I think this exposition on knowledge has been so beautiful by Santosh Ben that I'm sure that this workshop will still take it further. Shanti, and thank you.
Thank you so much for your blessings and words of inspiration. So I move on now to Kosha sister for the first activity. Over to you, Kosha. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Om Shanti, everyone, and welcome to today's session. So, today we're going to be talking about and just gaining some insights on
Kosha
knowledge.
Ben, sorry to interrupt. Your voice is a bit low volume. If you
Okay,
just
is this better?
now it's fine. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay, sorry about that. So, since today we're going to be gaining some insights into the value of knowledge, I think it's important to get knowledge about who we are or what our role is. So, today's first exercise is going to be exploring our roles and responsibilities. So, maybe you could just grab a pen and paper with you for this activity. And what we're going to do is we're going to take a few minutes to just figure out what are my roles and responsibilities in life, whether it's in my personal life or my professional life. For example, in my personal life, I could be a mother, daughter, a father, whatever it is. And in your professional life, you could be a manager, an employee, a colleague. Okay, so just think of some of the roles that you play in your personal and professional life. And also, with roles always come responsibilities. So, what are the responsibilities that I have to keep up with in my life? So, what are those things that I have to do? I absolutely have to do. And these are things that just happen, and we don't really think much about it. It's just something that goes on. But here we're going to put some focus on my roles and responsibilities. So, let's take about 5 minutes. Okay, 5 to 7 minutes, and we'll just think about our roles and responsibilities. You could write it down on a piece of paper just to get some clarity of thought. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask.
If I could just request all the participants to please keep themselves muted all the time because there's a lot of background noises coming. Thank you.
Okay, so someone has asked what is the difference in these two questions. So basically, role is something that I have to do. It's like what I play. Am I a mother? My responsibilities will be different. If I am talking about my professional life, then my role is something, but my response. So basically, the role is if I'm a mother, my responsibilities will be to take care of my children, to make sure they're fed. So there'll be a longer list in responsibilities compared to role. So first you need to figure out which role you are talking about or which is most important in your life, in your personal and professional life. And then you have to write down a couple of responsibilities under that role that you have to fulfill. So think about the most important ones in your life. Whoever's ready, Maybe we could have another minute. Whoever's ready to share some of the roles and responsibilities that they feel are the most important for them in their life, you can just feel free to unmute yourself or you can write it down on chat, whatever is preferable. So whoever's ready to share, maybe, your role and the responsibility that goes with that role. Sometimes we don't really think about it. We just do it. It's very automatic, right? So here we are consciously writing it down and focusing on it. So is there anyone who wants to share something about what they've written down?
You can also feel free to share in the chat box if you don't want to speak.
Whoever's ready, you can unmute yourself. Yes, Vijay bhai, would you like to say something? You've
Om
unmuted.
Shanti, my dear brothers and sisters. Great day to find our role in personal and professional life. I am father, son, husband, friend, and professional life. I am an engineer as a consultant. My role is to play a role of a hero. Hero means best to my capacity with thoughts, with speech, with action, to help others, to love others, to give peace others, to give happiness others. This is my role now as a connection of soul to soul and all the time connected with the Supreme so that we keep on getting the blessings from God and go on giving these blessings to all the souls whom we come in contact. This is our responsibility now. God bless you. Baba
Thank
bless you.
you. Thank you, Vijay bhai. So basically, responsibilities to give peace, happiness to others, and blessings. We have a few in the chat. So, son, the role of a son, and the responsibilities taking care of the parents, the mother and father. Then Vicky Ben says wife, mother, daughter, daughter-in-law, and the role is nurturing, fulfilling needs of family members, giving support, love, and cooperation. Again, as a daughter, an elder member of my family, responsibility. Sorry, I'm just muting a few people because there's a lot of background noise. So, Prabhaban says, as a daughter and elder member of the family, responsibility is like the engine of the train. So, she has to keep going with full acceptance and forgive others and be compassionate always. And as a professional, as a manager, it is being non judgmental all the time. So thank you so much for all those replies. Yes, so whoever is ready can unmute themselves and can share. I think there were one or two people who had unmuted themselves, right? So you can unmute yourselves now and share. I think Mukta was one of them. Would you like to share your points? So whoever's ready can just unmute yourself and share. Yes, Jyotiben, question two is dependent on question one. So depending on the role you're playing, your responsibilities will change a little bit. So does anyone else have any inputs they would like to share with everybody? Um, Tejaswini Ben says being patient and understanding. So would you like to tell us in which role is it important to kind of play that, have that responsibility of being patient?
I don't know whether people can unmute themselves. Maybe we'll just change the settings, Koshabhen. Have we probably,
Okay.
yeah, I
No,
think
they can
so.
unmute
You
themselves.
can? Okay, okay.
So Tejaswini Ben said during work also as a daughter also she has to practice the value of patience and understanding and during work as well. So for personal and professional life both patience and understanding. Aruna Ben, would you like to share something? So anyone else who wants to just, or you can even think about what kind of roles that are important to you and that you play every day, and what kind of responsibilities are there, and maybe how you could, which values could help you fulfill those responsibilities better. Dr. Ashok Mehta says the roles change. I am the same individual physically, but my roles change and my emotions and thoughts also get automatically shifted. So basically, he is the same, but his roles keep changing personally, professionally, and the emotions and thoughts also change with the roles. So thank you so much for that input, Ashok Mehta, doctor. So I think we don't have any more inputs. Aruna Ben agrees that we don't change, just our roles change. So thank you so much for that. Um, so I guess basically this first exercise was for us to really understand the different kind of roles that we play in our life and the responsibilities we have. Because when we're trying to get knowledge of ourselves, it is important for us to first understand what we are doing physically, and then slowly as the exercises progress we'll be going deeper into understanding ourselves. So at the very top level, what we do in our everyday lives is play certain roles and have certain responsibilities for which we go to work or we interact with each other. So it's important to get an idea of that, and then we can slowly start peeling off the layers and going deeper. So Jyoti Ben says situation also affects our roles at that time. So yes, thank you so much for all your feedback and inputs and sharing. Deepak Bhai, do you want to share something? You've unmuted yourself.
No, sorry.
Okay.
By
All right. So thank you so much. And with that, we can move on to the next exercise.
Thank you so much, Kosha Behin. So I'll just, this exercise is about my roles and my responsibilities. So we don't say I the role, I the responsibility. So let us, in our values workshops, that's what we do. We start first on a very cognitive level, on a very thought level, that what am I thinking? What are my roles? What are my responsibilities? And there's a lot of overlap between these two. Therefore, whatever responses you all have given, I've written it in both the columns. But all of you agree we have different roles, and it's the same person playing different roles at different times. And each role has particular responsibility to procure, to particular responsibility to fulfill up to and live up to that responsibility. So now let us go on to the next exercise. And why are we saying again and again that we are going in the depth? Because this is not the depth. This is just still on the cognitive layer. I am still identifying myself as I'm a father, I'm a son, I'm a husband, friend, so on and so forth. And this is my responsibility. I have to take care of this, all that. So now let us go in the depth and try to see who is this I, who is this I actually. I mean, it is my role, my responsibility, everything is my and mine, but who is this real I? So we move on to the next activity and I give it on to Prabha's sister. Over to you, Prabha's sister.
Yeah, Om Shanti, good morning. Yes, this is a very deep question to know who am I? So everybody has gone through a very beautiful activity and everybody got a chance to go into reflection and find out that the role and responsibility which I'm playing, actually who is there who's playing this role. So Dr. Ashok Mehta written a very nice chat box. He has written a very nice message that actually it's the conscious who change. We are every day we have a different role. Somebody plays as a mother, daughter, wife, but this is our roles. But actually who is there? So this activity, we are going to do a small meditation practice. This will give us a chance to go into more deep and explore that actually who is there, who's playing the role. So for example, जैसे हॉस्पिटल में डॉक्टर जब पेशेंट को लेकर के आते हैं तो वी से ये पेशेंट है, लेकिन अगर उस पेशेंट का शरीर छूट जाता है तो हम बोलते हैं आप बॉडी को ले जाइए, हम ये नहीं बोलते हैं पेशेंट को ले जाइए. तो कुछ तो है. We are having lot of labels every day as a manager, as a senior manager, as a vice president, as a director in a professional level, and then in a personal level we have lot of labels we do. But actually वो सब रोल कौन प्ले कर रहा है, कौन है वो शक्ति जो हमें चला रही है, कौन है वो एक्चुअली में. तो लेट्स गो विद इन आवरसेल्फ, एक सुंदर सी यात्रा पर चलते हैं और जानते हैं कि हु एम आई. मनोज भाई मुझे म्यूजिक का हेल्प चाहिए होगा. लेट्स गो इनसाइड एंड
Yes,
फाइंड
sure.
आउट हु
Yeah.
एम आई. अभी जो भी जहाँ बैठे हैं आराम से सभी बैठेंगे रिलैक्स होके. अभी कुछ समय के लिए जो भी आपके हाथ में है या जो भी आपके सामने है, just leave them and just a small practice, try to explore and go more inside. Yes, आपको जो मैं बोल रही हूँ वो आपको रिपीट नहीं करना है. Just listen it and try to visualize it and try to understand it. Okay, let's start the journey to go within. Sit quietly and relax. Take a few deep breaths and turn your focus onto your thoughts. Yes, you can gently inhale and gently exhale. एक बार फिर से, you can gently inhale and gently exhale. Yes, a few deep breaths and relax. Who am I? Am I just this body? When I look into a mirror, what am I looking at? Is that me? Is there more to me than my physical image? My body is very real. I can touch it. I'm aware of each part of it. Even with my closed eyes, I can feel my body. Is this who I am? Think on it. Is this who am I? As I think about these questions, I begin to get an idea of where I am. Somewhere inside my head is me. I am not just my face or my mouth or my eyes. I am something more than these things. Go within and feel yourself. Who am I? Just feel it. Go slowly, slowly. Deeply reflect. Who am I? Am I my thoughts? Am I the one who is thinking? Am I the one who is questioning? Now, sitting in this very quiet moment with no one else looking at me, no one else telling me who or what I am. I spend a few moments enjoying myself, getting used to my qualities, and getting to know how I think and feel. Just enjoying myself, just getting used to my qualities. I request to mute, request all to mute, please. Just feel yourself. It's a nice feeling. I can be me. I don't have to please anyone. I don't have to attract anyone's attention to me. I don't have to. I don't have to do what other people expect of me. Just be who I am. Wow, it's so beautiful feeling. Who I am. It's me, real me. I like me. The more I get to know myself, the more I can be myself. When there are others around, and that feels so good. The more I appreciate who I am, the easier it is to appreciate who others are. Each one of us is a unique being. Each one of us is worthy of being alive. Yes, I am a unique being. Feel the positive vibes. Feel yourself like a point of star sparkling on your forehead. A lot of lights, positive vibrations are coming out, and you can feel actually you are not this body, but a beautiful, shining, sparkling star. And the light of that star is so bright, so sparkling that you can feel, you can enjoy of being yourself. Yes, it's me, real me. This is what I am. Go deep. Think about it. See yourself and feel it. Just go with the feeling. Just go. Take a deep breath and relax. Now very gently, I remember again that I'm sitting inside this body, in this room, and I know who I am. Yes, I know who I am. I'm the soul, I'm a point of light, playing my roles and responsibility in this world. And this body is my chariot, is my car. Through this, I'm playing different roles in my personal and professional. So in your own time, move your hands and feet and look around the room. Now slowly come back and feel yourself. Relax. Take a deep breath. One time inhale and exhale. One more time. Inhale and exhale. Yes. Relax. Om Shanti. Thank you for joining this beautiful meditation. And I hope through this meditation, you could able to get some time to go within and explore more that actually who is the one playing role. Yeah. So anyone would like to share something, some short experience, like after doing that activity, roles and responsibility, and now this activity, did you feel that actually this is who am I, who's playing the role and responsibility? Sudeepa wants to say something. She unmute herself actually. I can see. Sudeepa, do you want to share something, sister? Okay, then if you don't want to share, please mute yourself then. Please mute yourself. Aruna, okay. Sister, do you want to say something? Sudeepa, sister?
No, sister.
So you able to experience something? Who am I?
Yeah,
Okay. So it's Sudeepa is playing the role, or the soul, the point of light is playing the role?
yeah, the soul is playing the role.
Yeah. So we have different names, yeah? Different
Right,
roles. Yeah.
right,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, you're smiling so beautifully. Keep
You
smiling. Okay. Anyone else would like to share? You can mute yourself, Sister Sudeepa.
Yeah, didn't
You
I?
can mute. You can mute yourself now. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Anyone else?
mute.
Yeah.
Om Shanti Didi ji.
Yes, Vijay Bhai. So who am I? The role playing? Who is
I
playing
am
the
a
role?
point. I am a point of light, and you are a point of light, and all the participants are our dear brothers and sisters, our soul's point of light.
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
sister, my question is this.
Hmm.
I try to visualize I am a point of light and also point of light. Sometimes I see a shining star, but sometimes I only visualize but don't see the shining star. I want to understand how long concentration and how long this practice of Raj Yoga is to go, that I continue to see light on my forehead as well as light on your forehead. Thank you.
Thank you, Vijay Bhai. Vijay Bhai, we will be having question answer sessions end of the this session after Gopi Ben sister. But I tell you one thing, Raj Yoga is a long process. It's a process actually. It takes time. It will not happen quickly. It takes time. So we need practice and patience and time to go with that. But yes, we will take your question end of the session. Thank you. Okay, Manoj Bhai, we can
Yeah.
go ahead with other activity.
Yeah, thank you so much, Prabha Behan. So, amidst all these disturbances of people not able to mute
Yes, थोड़ा
themselves,
बीच में था.
people have still at least experienced this conscient energy which they are, right? Because all these are external disturbances.
Yeah.
Because once I'm able to go inside, my thoughts really go inside, then come what may, whatever the external background noise may be, the more important is the internal noise of my thoughts, which has come down, and I'm really able to experience that stillness inside. So thank you,
Yeah.
Prabha sister, for
Thank you.
taking us in that mode. Thanks once again. So now we move on to the next activity. I'll share the screen and we move on to, see, this is the beauty of these workshops. We started with something on the thought layer, that's my role, my responsibility. Then we went into depth that who is this real me? That the conscient, the tiny infinitesimal point of light which I am, and I'm able to experience that in meditation. So now we move on to the third activity, which is all about action planning. I mean, it's fine now. I'm sitting with you. I'm totally relaxed. It's a Sunday morning here, maybe at Jujar and other people joining from Vancouver. It's somewhere evening, late evening or night. It's fine when I'm relaxed. But when I'm going back to my workplace and when I'm at home, otherwise with a lot of difficult thoughts inside and I'm engrossed with some other work, can I translate this? So this is called the true action planning. Like, can I use this meditative experience and can I create something at my workplace so that I experience this constantly, as Vijay Bhai was constantly asking, can I experience this? So let us take this as a homework for us. and we'll go into the action planning mode. We have Sister Preeti joining from Delhi. She'll take us into the action planning mode and how to visualize that thing really at my workplace. So I'll pass it on to her. I'll share the screen for you.
Thank you, Dr. Manoj Bhai. So I hope everyone has experienced the real I, and this activity also is related to this differentiation between the role and real I. So in this activity, we will practice being a detached observer at work and home. This is a visualization exercise. In this exercise, we will create a scene in our mind. I'll give you a guided commentary, and you just have to just visualize, create a scene in your mind, whatever I would be telling you. Before that, I would like to explain to you in brief what it is to be a detached observer. Usually you all must have experienced, we all have experienced, then whenever anyone is in a problem or he is facing some challenge, whenever anyone is sharing with us his or her problem, we are very efficient to give them the solution. So when we are listening to the other person as a third party, as a detached observer, we are able to give them the solutions. But when it comes to my own problem, my own challenge, sometimes we are not able to come to a solution. We get confused. We are not able to take any decision. What should I do? What should I not do in this situation? So basically, it is the response to the situation rather than the situation itself, which helps us in resolving the situation. And this may or may not change the situation, may or may not change the response of other people who are involved in the situation, but it will definitely help me to relax, cool down, calm down myself, and feel lighter so that I'm able to respond in a better way in that particular situation. So I would request Manoj Bhai to play a background music, and I would be giving you a guided commentary, what to experience to practice being a detached observer.
Sure.
So all of you, please sit comfortably, relax, take few deep breaths. Let your breathing be easy. Gradually feel that your thoughts are quietening. Now, think of a difficult or unresolved situation in your working life or at home, in your current situation. Picture that scene as though from a distance. Feel as if you're an actor in this big drama on the stage. Try to go beyond this drama as if you're rising up, and from a height, you're looking at the situation. It's a small box which
Hello.
you're viewing
पापा
from
को डालना
above.
बेटा, हाँ लिखना ऊपर ले आ गया.
This picture seems smaller. Feel yourself as the bigger I. With the help of the experience you had in previous exercise, detach yourself from the role and now view the situation. Ask yourself, what is the interaction like? What thoughts and feelings are being experienced and exchanged? What is each person's body language? What is the expression on your face? What is the atmosphere? What effect is it having on your body? What effect does it have on others around you? What is the outcome in the current situation? Be silent for a minute and allow yourself to be calm and return to a positive inner space. Imagine what value or quality you would like to bring to this situation. Put this quality into your mind. Really hold it and tune into it. See that quality, sense it, hear it, and touch it. Imagine that quality is going into your whole being, into your muscles, your face, your shoulders, your chest, your back, your skin, your jaw, in fact, into your whole being. Now, having taken time to create new thoughts, picture another scene close to you, in front of the previous one. From above, see another scene. Play that same scene again, but with your chosen qualities in action. Can you see your positive qualities or values affecting that situation or interaction? Reflect on this for a few moments. What is the interaction like now? What are your thoughts or feelings? What is your body language? The expression on your face? What is the effect on your body? How do you feel? What is the atmosphere like? What is the effect on others? And what is the outcome now? What other positive qualities are you able to use in that situation or interaction? As you reflect on the difference, what did you go? What did you let go of? What have you added? Now, slowly allow yourself to become aware of the room. Take a few deep breaths and have a stretch if you wish. Thank you.
Thank you.
So anyone,
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, yeah.
any one of you would like to share your experience in this activity? Okay, Vidhi, yeah, please.
The first question, which said, "What is your role?" and so many things I had in my mind. Right after this, there was such a clear picture, a lot of stillness in my thoughts. So, yeah, I felt the difference. I had so many things in my mind, which made me so heavy. And after this, I felt very light and relaxed.
Thank you. So, Vijay Pal Bhai, yeah, you would like to share?
Yes, thank you. Wonderful experience of these activities, how you can look at a situation which you are facing, but as a detached observer, and also what feelings come to your mind that yes, we are going through certain problem, that problem, although it is very big for me, it's a personal big financial loss, but I feel if I have a feelings as a detached observer, whosoever has robbed that money, I can make also feel in his internal soul, in consciousness, that wrongs which you have done to us can be corrected. And with the feeling that, okay, mistake has been done by you, it can be corrected by you also. Because if the money belongs to me, it should come back to me. And that way is the way of removing sufferings from the world. Because the moment we finish the problem, the sufferings finish and happiness comes. Thank you, Didi. Wonderful exercise because we are personally related to a problem. It's good insight to solve the problem. Thank you, Didi.
Thank you. So in this exercise, basically, we must have experienced that when we get detached from the situation, from the problem, we find the solution to the problem. So we can use this exercise, this activity, whenever we are in problem, whenever we have some challenge. And when we are tempted to react to a situation, we can just step back, go into this exercise, feel detached, and we can handle the situation in a better way. So Jyoti is asking, can you give an example where this worked? So I think Vijay Pal Bhai has already given an example very beautifully that he applied to a situation where he was having a financial loss and he's feeling much better. Because I told you earlier also that it is not necessary that situation will change or the other people who are involved in the situation will change, but our response to the situation will definitely change, and we can work, we can actually look for the solutions, we become optimistic, and we think that we are still capable of achieving more, and we focus on what is to be done next rather than thinking over what has happened to us. So this helps us in bringing us to a state of mind where we focus on our present, we focus on planning for the future rather than cribbing about the past or dwelling on the past. So thank you, all of you. I hand over to Dr. Manoj Matnani.
Just 1 minute, Shanti Didi. One point I want to add here, Didi.
Yeah, please.
You said that yes, it will solve the you will find a solution by being detached. But you also said that problem may not be solved. But here I strongly feel that problem will be solved. The truth will prevail because we have a confidence of company of God with us. So never ever think that problem will not be solved. Problem has to be solved because God is with us, supreme power is with us, and we are on the right path. Thank you, Didi.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, all of you, for your inputs. It's very lively discussion. So thank you once again, Preeti sister, for taking us in this visualization mode of. There are a couple of things which I could notice from the discussion which happened. Is first thing is we don't have to look at the problems. We have to be solution oriented, not problem oriented. That's what we are taught at Brahma Kumaris. Life is always full of challenges. Things will happen with you. In front of you, there'll be a lot of different circumstances, people challenging your sanskars, everything will come in front of you. But you don't have to look at those problems. You have to look at the solutions. And by being a detached observer, you can detach from that situation, from that person, from the influences of that person, and then you can really go into this who am I and try to find out a solution. And as Vijay Bhai was so confident that we will definitely get a solution, yes, we have, all of us have experiences where we have solutions for problems. Once we go in silence, introspect, go inside, and we definitely get a solution for that. So with this, I would now move on to the next part before I go on to Sister Gopi, who will be joining us shortly soon. You know, we do this Values for Life series talks, and last Sunday we had the talk by Sister Santosh from Russia, from St. Petersburg. I'll just share my screen so that you all can see what wisdom she had to give us that time. Screen is visible, and what she said was that a beautiful thing which she said, if you can look at these two sets of flowers, what is the difference between the two? I'm not asking you to share, you can write it in the chat box, but from the photo at least you can't make out that this one is more of real flowers and this is more of plastic. So she gave us an example that when we eat something and we are eating a tasty dish, the first important thing we want to know about is the taste. And then we ask the person who's cooked that dish, oh, can you please tell us how did you prepare the recipe, so on and so forth. So she gave this corollary that a human being without virtues is like a plastic flower. No matter how much that plastic flower looks so attractive, but the moment you bring it near your nose, you can really make out it's not a true flower. So virtues, values in the life of human being are like, you know, the fragrance. And the fragrance only comes once we start using these virtues or values in our daily living. Further, she said about knowledge. She mentioned about her personal experience that she was a zoology student in Delhi, and once she was doing dissection on the frog, and the professor asked her to cut the frog open, but she couldn't do that. So she told her professor that basically, if I'm a science student and I'm working for humanity, for giving the humanity something best, why should I take someone else's life? So what she did, she came to a compromise. She had a partner whom she was working with in the laboratory sessions that time. She told him that, why don't you just do the cutting and I will just be with you and we will just read from the book. So, you know, this is what touched me, because she mentioned that being a seeker of true knowledge, and if I want to benefit humanity, I don't need to kill animal. That is what we call being a guinea pig for all of for people around. So it's important that we as human beings, particularly as doctors, if we are able to relieve the sorrow, we should not be able to give sorrow to someone. Sometimes I feel when in my medical training, we are juniors and we are really learning on people, we see some mistakes. Can I just request people to please mute themselves? It's really very disturbing. Okay, so I mean, I remember my junior residency days, and I feel that I have done a few mistakes, but my consultants, my professors have really taken care of that. And now, I mean, after 20, 25 years, after this, when I'm into practice now, I can relate that, yeah, my juniors can do that, and I'm there to correct their mistakes. So Didi, Santosh Didi here was saying that as a child, she was very inquisitive and she was very hungry for knowledge. She used to look at a flower and look at the pattern of the flower. How is the pattern like that? So then with all this in the background of her mind, she was able to visit once Mount Abu, and there then she realized the big truth about herself. That's what we have been discussing since 10 o'clock, that what is the difference between I and mine. She never had thought, seeing in the mirror, that it is basically, there are two entities. This body which I look at in the mirror is temporary, but who is looking at this body? It is that conscient energy which is in the center of the forehead. So with this, she further mentioned that there are basically two entities. I'm just revising this again. One which exists but is not aware of its existence. That is all the physical entities, what we call the material world, the physical world. And the second is all about subtleties, one which exists but it's aware of existence. So I'm sure Gopi Ben will have a lot of other things on sharing of knowledge, but if you can just take a minute now with me, if you have a mirror in front of you, or if you don't have, that's fine. Just look at your hands, look at your feet, look at your body. So you know this is the physical body, but who is looking at this body? We feel that it is these physical eyes, they are looking at that body. But no, as Prabha Bahan gave you the beautiful example that when we leave the body, when we are declared as dead, that time they say, take the body away. They don't tell, take so and so away. So we don't need to wait for death to realize that it is not these physical eyes which are looking at the body, but it is something beyond these physical. There is this metaphysical energy inside, that conscient being inside, which is looking at the different parts of the body. So that is the true me, or the true I, who is. So, and therefore it is in Hindi, it is said that jab tak khud ko nahi jana, tab tak khuda ko nahi jana. So unless and until I know who this true identity is, who am I, that true person, the true me, I won't be able to even perceive what God is, and getting connected to him will be very, very far. So I really need to, the first step in spirituality is to realize that inner spirit, who am I? Then she mentioned that if I know who am I am a male, I am a female, I am from this country, I'm from this nationality, this gender, so on and so forth. So she mentioned that because I have been using so many identities from my childhood till now, sometime daughter, wife, mother, so on, all the time this I was definitely there. Then she mentioned that when the brother passed away, my sister relation went out, but I still exist. And who is this true I? We have to explore that. She mentioned about the 5 elements the body is made up of, and the different parts of the body, eyes, ears, hands, and nose. Everything is so sophisticated, in the sense, in the medical community and the medical world, we learn everything about different organ systems, and there is a particular doctor for every organ system. There's a ophthalmic surgeon for eyes, there's an ENT surgeon for ear, nose, and throat, and so on. So everything is very well structured. And she also mentioned that who has decided that the nose should be here? The nose can be behind, the nose can be here. Who decided that in one day there should be 24 hours, and in 1 year there should be 365 days? So who decided? So this concept of time, which we all of us are following, is from birth till end of our life, and this is just one birth. But when we, as that soul, that conscient energy, I take birth and I leave the body, that is just one limited time period, but then that I goes on to another body. So I need to realize that, and to all these questions is the answer of knowledge, that it is the soul which is leaving the body, and it is going from this birth to the another birth. This is what she mentioned in the as far as knowledge goes for this slide. Then she mentioned that about schooling time, we collect a lot of information which is related to our livelihood, and we call that as education. But that education, mind well, is just for satisfying your physical bodily needs. You go into a profession, you are practicing the profession, that's it. Everything actually is connected to me inside. It is the life, not about my life. So when I say my parents, my patients, my job, my car, my building, everything is just associated with that. But who is that true I? That is the, again, we come back to that conscient being. She also said that seeing a dead body of our near and dear one, we say so and so has gone, like my father, my sister, all these have gone. Then she said, think about this expression, that if the body is the mother, if I have a dead body in front of me, it's the mother's dead body, for example. So the body is still there, but we say my mother is gone, right? So then we realize again, it is the death of a particular person which makes me realize, oh, the body is there, but the mother has gone. Probably that energy has gone, the energy has left the body. And in the Hindu tradition, we have this beautiful custom where we apply tilak in the center of the forehead. You go to a temple, the priest would apply tilak here, right in the center of the forehead. The moment you enter the temple, you first try to ring the bell. And that bell basically is a reminder of your consciousness shift, that you shift from, you're not this body, shift from the consciousness of being this body to being the conscient energy you are. So this is the beautiful corollary or beautiful symbol why a tilak is applied, to remind us of our soul. And when we enter the temple with this consciousness, then only we'll be able to connect to that divine being over there. As Prabha sister was mentioning, this is there in our basic Raj Yoga meditation coach, which Sister Santosh also said, that all of us have this body which is like the car, and that is we are the that is the chariot, and we are the charioteer, which we in Hindi we call Rathwan and Rathi. And therefore beautifully in Hindi we say Arthi ja rahi hai. Arthi means a Rathi. So that person who was driving that body, driving that vehicle body has left. So it is a Rathi. And I liked, she said something beautiful over here, that when we need to drive a car in the physical world outside, we need to have a license, right? But here, when we are in this body, have we got the license? And what is this true license she mentioned in the other slide? Knowledge is the license and meditation is the key. Such a beautiful example. So I'll be able to lead a life very nicely, very properly. I'll be able to drive this bodily car, this physical car, only if I have the knowledge, if I have the license. So having that knowledge about the self is the license. And I know, I mean, all of you are in this session since last 1 hour. All of us are just again and again saying, who am I, knowledge. So that knowledge is the license. But if I need to put it into practice, that is applying the key to the car, and that key to the car is nothing but meditation. So this original knowledge about who am I, from where am I, and why have I come here? Like Dadi Janki said, main kaun, mera kaun, and mujhe kya karna hai. These are the basic 3 things which she used to always say. And once I realize this, then I can really drive the car properly with the key of meditation and with the license of knowledge. And I'll just take a few minutes before I go on to Sister Gopi. There was one question which someone asked, that knowledge and wisdom, these 2 things are very closely related. So she said, what comes first? It's a tricky thing. Experience comes first or knowledge comes first? So then beautifully Santosh Didi explained this, that for certain things we need to have experience first and then get the knowledge. And she gave this beautiful example. Sister Prabha has made this PPT, so she's beautifully put these images. She told about gulab jamun, an Indian dish, and this is a Russian dish called manik. I'm sure it looks very tempting. We would want to try it when we go there. So as an Indian, I don't know about this Russian dish. So I absolutely have no knowledge. But when I go and taste it, I take the experience of that taste, and then I say, wow, it's a beautiful taste. And then I can ask the person in retrospect, can you please tell me what is the recipe? So in these situations, it is first having an experience and then going into the knowledge part of it. And reverse is like, for example, if I'm in my medical college or medical school, I gain knowledge over there. And once I gain knowledge, then I practice it. I do my internship, and then I do my post-graduation, and then I practice. So when I put that knowledge into practice, then it becomes my experience, and then I'm thought to be a wise doctor. So this is the way it's a reverse is also true. So both are very overlapping with each other. So I think this was the last thing which she had shared. And now let me go on to our speaker. We are very fortunate that Sister Gopi has given us time, though she's not feeling a bit well, but she told that she'll definitely do for 30 to 40 minutes. And there'll be many questions, I know, in the end for her. Let me just, all of you know Sister Gopi very well. I did not give her an introduction, but basically she's been practicing Raja Yoga since a long, long time, 35 to 40 years. She's been instrumental in conducting the activities of the IYF, the International Youth Forum, which she's a part of very actively. She's involved with that. And currently, as we speak, she's right now in Mount Abu. So thank you so much, Gopi sister, for being again with all of us here. and I would just stop sharing and pass on to her. I'll just make her the co-host. I hope she's been able to join. Okay, is that, yeah, okay, it's named as Elisha Patel, right? Gopi sister, yeah, over to you. I'll just make you a co-host first, and then I can just, yeah, over to Sister Gopi. I'll just highlight you in a minute. Thank you.
Om Shanti. I hope you can hear me okay.
Yeah, we can hear you, Sister Gopi. I think it is just showing that this network bandwidth is low. So if you want to put the video off, it should be fine, or we'll just go and see how it goes further.
No, I will switch the video off because
Yeah,
where
so
I am, the bandwidth is rather low.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Can you still hear me okay?
Yeah, that's perfect now. Thank you.
Okay. Om Shanti, everyone. And before we start, I'd like to invite you into a moment of silence, wherever you are. And to just allow all your senses and your attention to come into this present moment now. And as everything quietens down, the living diamond is revealed. The living diamond of light, of peace, that is the giver of life, that breathes life into this body. The soul. And let yourself drop into that state. Let yourself be the diamond. The diamond of purity. The diamond of truth. The diamond of peace. And a diamond of light. And allow the light of that diamond to emanate out, making all your senses light, your mind light, your heart light, your whole being light. Om Shanti. there are three categories. The first is that there are plenty of people that know about the soul. The second, out of the people that know about the soul, there are few that believe that they are a soul. And third, there are even fewer that live as souls amongst souls. Now, what is knowledge against the backdrop of these three? Is knowledge simply knowing a fact, having a piece of information, having an identity? Is knowing believing, i.e., the knowing that comes from observing and experiencing something momentarily? Is that knowing? Is that permanent or is it transient? And then is knowing the actual state, living in the state, in the actual experience of something. So you're not having an experience of it, you are living in it. And when I think back and I look back at my own life and my exposure to the daddies, I see how the category of souls that live as souls amongst souls was the category of the daddies. These are individuals that spent a lifelong practice just being the soul, not intellectualizing about the soul, not creating metaphors about the soul, but deeply living it until they see the soul, they feel the soul, they see the qualities of the soul. It was a lifelong training and a lifelong way of life. And so I suppose in our own lives, when we think of this word knowledge, in Greek, of course, the roots of it is gnosis, which literally means the state of knowing through observing or experiencing something. And so that aspect of knowledge that is through the senses, where you observe and experience something for yourself. But then the word in Hindi is gyan. And the connotation of gyan really meaning that which enlightens and brings reformation and peace. So it's not just a state of watching and observing, dipping your toe in and experiencing something and saying, I know. Because that I know, you can create a moral standpoint from it. We have this expression in English, rest on your laurels. So it's a little bit like resting on all these things that I know this, and I know that, and I know the other. And yet what we really know is chickpeas. We've got a few chickpeas that we've made a foundation for our life for, and we rest on those chickpeas going, I know. And this is when Abhiman ज्ञान का नाम लेकर के अपना काम करता है. Because the one thing I realized that real, I suppose, knowledge or state of enlightenment brings is it brings an attitude of learning, an attitude of openness, an attitude of non-violence, an attitude of non-judgment. There's no need to judge anybody's book or cover. No need to take an opinion about anything, because whatever is. But what is my vision illuminating? What am I seeing, and who is it that's seeing? And this is where I feel, on a spiritual path, as we start to unlearn a lot of these chickpeas of what we know, we can then enter a very deep space of humbleness and humility to be with what we know. And you know what's important is that within the aspect of spiritual knowledge, gyan, especially the gyan that brings reformation, it's not just knowledge of facts of the world, of statistics, of scientific discoveries, but we're talking about the deep principles of life that bring transformation, that bring change, and that help us to reconnect to peace. That is always the connotation of gyan, which has a spiritual connotation. Is that in that gyan there is a viddhi for siddhi, a method. And so when I have and I live by the principles of knowledge, they're not just principles, they're methods of living, they're methods of applying, and they're methods of realizing our karma. Because knowledge at an intellectual level can be factual, can be visual, can be intellectual, can be conceptual, it can be rational. But knowledge in a realized form is forgiveness, is mercy, is compassion, is love. Knowledge in a realized form doesn't think anymore, it embodies. And when the viddhi of real gyan is applied, the siddhi is that I become victorious in being loving and peaceful, patient, tolerant. I was thinking about gyan in terms of the task, the principles of gyan in terms of the task. And I look at the whole human world and I look at nature, the natural world. And there is so much natural gyan playing itself out in the sense that there's no competition in nature. When there's gyan playing itself out, everything exists for its own self. It has its own purpose for existence and it plays its part. And so even if there's a vine growing on the branch of a tree, the tree's not going to complain to the vine, why are you growing on me? Even if a squirrel runs up and down a tree, makes its home in the tree's not going to complain, why are you making your home on me? The tree will continue to do what it does, which is grow, spread its branches, grow leaves. And so there's something very liberating about living a gyani life. And this morning I was having a conversation with somebody about, well, what's knowledge and what's truth? And knowledge may be a state of mind where I know something, but truth is that third category where I'm living it. I'm in a realized state of that gyan. And so the beautiful thing about spiritual knowledge is the principle is the method. And when it's practiced enough, we accumulate enough of those drops of experience that topple our whole system into embodying it. Because there's something about assimilating gyan, that the assimilation part of it, that's more important than the gyan itself, creating an environment of assimilating gyan so that it can work in my system. You know, if you put petrol into a faulty vehicle and the engine's it's not going to work. You can have the best petrol, but if the engine and the motor and whatever is not working, the car's going to splutter and jerk. And so in the same way, within the soul, within ourselves, we have a mechanism. We have our drishti, we have our vritti, we have our awareness, smriti. And we have an internal subtle engine that if that's not environment isn't kept clean, then anything that's received in it can't execute itself. It doesn't find a path out. It doesn't find a path, a clear path of expression. Something's stuck, something's attached, something's linked. And so for me, the process of the first aspect of creating preparing a field to allow knowledge to be absorbed begins with cleanliness, internal cleanliness. It's the first preparatory ground, of which the basis is deep honesty, where I don't just live my life on the basis of my beliefs, which is what the second category of souls. I believe I'm a soul. You can believe you're a soul, and then you can believe you're a bad person. You can believe you're a good person. You can believe you're unworthy. And you oscillate between different temporary standpoints of beliefs. But I am a soul. And in that statement, it's not just a statement, but in it is the experience of your entire self. The qualities, your pulse of goodness, of purity, of peace, of love, of wisdom. And the moment that awareness switches on, all of that is accessible for you. So there's something about the state of our intellects that we need to prepare our intellect to actually be able to receive knowledge, gyan, and to be able to sustain gyan long enough to practice it. Because, you know, the brain doesn't know the difference between a perceived act, a real act, and a perceived act, an imagined act. And so sometimes for many people, they can talk about knowledge and think about knowledge and they think they're living it, but there's been no transformation in their lives because they haven't made that gyan, that principle, a sanskar. When something becomes a sanskar, you start, that's the building blocks of a new world, internal world. And so if I want the sanskars of patience, then how much do I actually live in my peace? How much do I live in the knowledge that I am a peaceful soul? How much have I made decisions in my life to sustain that level of peace? Have I made the decisions for peace in my life? Or am I just accepting the status quo of what's happening around me and then internally justifying my situation and calling that gyan? So there's something that happens which is realization, experience, realization, application, integration. That the whole purpose of knowledge makes you completely loving and detached. But if my knowledge and what my gyan I have is still making me sit on the seat of justice, then somewhere Abhiman is using this knowledge to create division and conflict. Because that same gyan can become a weapon in the wrong hands, and that same gyan can become a needle that stitches something that's broken. It all depends on the backdrop of the faith of the person using the gyan. So it's less about the gyan and it's more about who am I that's using it. If I'm aware I'm a soul, then my application and my use of any principle of gyan will be for each and every soul, will be to connect with the soul. But in that awareness, if I, as the user of any principle of knowledge, am aware of my status as a professional or something, then that reduces my drishti, it reduces my perception into a pinhole, where that's the bit I express of and relate to. And so what's really mindful is, who am I that's thinking this? Who am I that's absorbing this? Who am I that's listening this? Just that first question, just holding that question allows you to live the answer. This isn't about having a mantra. It's not, I'm a soul, I'm a soul, I'm a soul, I'm a soul. It's about opening the door of self-awareness in a very gentle and soft way. And I remember as a young child, when I was 8 years old and I had my first meditation experience, the way that I was taught meditation was very simple. Just begin a quiet dialogue with yourself. Who am I? And feel it, live it. Who do I belong to? Where do I come from? And why am I here? And it's such a sweet dialogue that opens the door for us to elevate our awareness. And when awareness is elevated, then from that point on, everything we think and do becomes elevated. Most often, we don't make the effort to elevate our awareness. And sometimes what we start doing is using thoughts as a glucose injection. So if I think this, maybe I'll get this. But the thoughts are being generated from an old awareness. So it's a temporary glucose injection, and then you take it away and you're back to square one again. But the whole aspect of elevating awareness is what unlocks the wisdom inside. It unlocks my ability to perceive and recognize what is natural and what is real, and to absorb what is true. And when I think of my relationship with the Supreme, and I think of how this being in my life is serving to remind me of what's true, that's all. It's not that I don't know. I know, but I've forgotten what I've known. And as I come into connection with this being, and I start to hear drops of his knowledge, his intentions, his thoughts, his being, I start to understand who I am again and what my place is in the fabric of humanity. And more importantly, what my relationship with him is about. And it's a deep awakening. Realization is a process of awakening. You can't force a realization, but you can make yourself ready to have a realization. And that preparation of sincerity of heart, even of just saying to God, I'm available. I want to know you. I want to be clean. I want to be free. Just setting the intention can often be enough to start that process of cleaning and to start that process of receiving. Many times I think all of us carry pockets of pain, and to protect that pain, we rationalize. So we use knowledge in the wrong way to rationalize. We tell a story about the pain, why the pain's there. And we're comfortable with the story. Something happened in my childhood because of this reason, because of that reason. But that rationalizing doesn't bring transformation. Transformation comes when I step back and say, I am not this experience. I am bigger than this experience. I am not this pain. I am a soul, a child of God. I take my hands off that chickpea of pain and sorrow, and I make myself free. Because for me, the real application, how do I know that knowledge is working in my life in a real way, two things will increase: freedom and happiness. And if these two things are not increasing, then understand somewhere the ego is corrupting what I know. And the ego, behind the ego is pain. Behind sorrow is attachment. And both of these are best friends. And so hidden pain and sorrow corrupts my perceptive ability. It makes everything limited because I'm holding on to something in my attitude that's of the past. ज्ञान क्या कहता है? जो बीता है वो सो बीता है. Even the clock of the hands of a clock know to keep moving forward. Even situations have the common sense to come and go. And yet, as human beings, we still hold on to a chickpea of an event of what someone said from 10 years ago. Is that Gyan? So I feel at some very deep level, to truly become Gyani, I have to prepare myself and let go of the comfort of sorrow. Because I think somewhere along the lines, nostalgia, there are many forms of sorrow. We've created a comfort zone inside ourselves of compromising because of certain sorrows we've taken that make us believe what we can do and what we can't do. When we're living in a state of truth, there are no thoughts I can and I can't. There's no reaction, mental reaction at all. There's a state of openness, there's a state of trusteeship, there's a state of surrender that allows the forces of the universe, that allows God to use me as He wishes, that allows me to be a complete, clean, and accurate instrument. And so for me, I had an incident that happened yesterday, and it opened a little pocket of pain up. And I remember in that moment, as the sorrow emerged, a little pocket of something emerged. I just decided to not think about it and go for a walk with God. And I just said, show me. And then I just went for a walk. I took my mental hands off it. I'm not going to analyze it, paralyze it, rationalize it, conceptualize it. Doesn't matter what it is, as it is, it's come to say goodbye. So I'm just going to leave it and see what happens. And I went for a walk with God. And in that walk, there came a point. There's a very, very clear, true thought that emerged. Very simple. Everyone has the intelligence to resolve their own problems. So what are you going to do to support that intelligence to emerge? And that was a powerful question for me. And I'm not thinking about the answer, I'm feeling and living the answer. So in each moment, when someone comes to me with something, that awareness that every soul has the intelligence and the knowingness to resolve their own karmic story. So how do I have to be that allows that intelligence to emerge? And I start to notice a change in my vision towards that soul. As I look at that soul, it's with that awareness that you have the knowledge and intelligence to resolve your issue. And my eyes change, they become soft, they become sweet, they become trusting. They have faith. And that faith touches the heart of the other person. That faith starts to do its work. And eventually, after the end of the conversation, the person enters a space of their own realization. And all I've done is just give them a vision of love and faith. So there's such a deep gyan already at work. It's a stream that's at work because the whole universe, the drama, nature, the symphony with God and the soul works on the basis of gyan, which is the reality. But I'm sleeping to that reality, and I've created an altered reality of noise, a cacophony of noise, of ideas and opinions and beliefs, to be able to create a story, because I want to create a story to feel important in my life. And yet, when I sit into that, I step into that space of being a deeply peaceful soul, a child of God, experiencing the bliss of being a child of God. That state of elevated self-respect quietens me, makes me rest, and allows me to step into the stream of the reality of life in a very natural way. Many times on a spiritual journey, I notice that people think that by understanding everything, they'll transform, and it's such an illusion. You know, when you think about a baby that's born, it hasn't swallowed an encyclopedia when it's born. It's a ball of soul awareness. That's why it gives off such a pure vibration, because it's completely soul conscious when it's born. And in that state of soul consciousness, it's completely trusting, completely loving, completely detached too. There are no differences in a baby's world when it's born. Everything is an extension of itself. So, you know, and yet it lives as a master. It knows nothing. It has no scientific facts. It has no knowledge. It has no knowledge of the conventional world. And yet it manages to grow. And so there's something very deep within us that as we become soul aware, we start to live in a very natural and real way without stuffing our intellects with a whole load of facts and figures because we think we have to keep up with the status quo. So living with yourself and knowledge means living with your conscience, because the conscience is the more, I would say, the more obvious voice of the wisdom of the soul. Performing your tasks on the basis of knowledge means to understand the vidhi that's needed for siddhi, the method that's needed for success. And then in relationships, understanding that it's the knowledge of my virtues and the cooperation of my virtues that will nourish relationships. And so there are three energies that are working together all the time. Me, the human soul, if I live by my conscience and I live in self-awareness, then the influence of God, I can experience God's influence on me. And that influence, in turn, then influences drama. Drama, the sequential of events that are designed to bring balance, a balanced system. Everything in the drama is about balance right now. Everything will have an equal and opposite reaction. And so within this relationship, it will be synchronized, and I will feel I'm living in synchronicity, because in this relationship of threesome, two are perfect. God is perfect, completely clean, and drama is perfect. It's a complete balancing act. The sequence of events, they're not being manipulated by anyone. It is a process of collective karma playing itself out. And there is a rhyme and reason for it. Just like there's spring, summer, autumn, winter, there is a whole cyclical effect being played out around us that's carrying us up to a peak, and then according to its natural nature, it dissipates into winter. But you don't stop and ask each season, why is it winter? Why is it summer? Why is it autumn? It's what's natural. It follows the entropic process. And so if the drama is perfect and God is perfect, and if I'm having any issues, they're mine, completely mine. Born from a limited sense of self, born from perhaps my egos, my attachments, my desires, my greed. Can I realize that? Can I realize what's inhibiting me? Can I realize where I'm not being true in my life? Can I clean up my act? Because the moment I start to do that, then I become a clean, open instrument that can step into the synchronicity of drama and God. And God is the creator. And I can become a creative companion of God. And the thing is, the beautiful thing is, where do you start? You start with the self. Don't start by trying to figure out the drama or trying to figure out the ends of the drama and what's happening, because it'll just take you away from the work that you need to do to stay clean and honest and true in each moment, because that's the pivotal point of change. That's applied gyan, is my gyan keeping me clean and true? Is my keeping me free and happy? If my gyan's not doing that, then why extend your thoughts out to understand anything else beyond that? I've got to figure out what aspect of gyan to apply gyan to use on myself. And sometimes it's really simple. Sometimes we can, in our spiritual lives, we can move ahead of ourselves too quickly. And for me, sometimes being simple is so important. And simple, whatever I think, that's what I'm going to speak and do right now. No more than that. Or whatever it is I want to do, those are the thoughts I'll generate right now. No more than that. That's Gyan. Gyan is understanding who I am and who I belong to. So understanding the eternity of my being and recognizing the difference between what's transient in my life and what's eternal and stable. So I don't let myself be rooted in what's transient. So the sanskars of Gyan, when we use Gyan in our lives, we don't need to project our personality to do any work. We don't need to impress anybody with our personalities or be impressed by any personality. We quietly live our truth in a state of truth. And whether we're recognized or not, it doesn't matter. Because the fact that I live in truth means I have a place in God's heart. And the beautiful thing is that when I create that space of cleanliness and honesty inside, then what starts to happen is that I start to clearly see my value and purpose. Because people often say, well, how do I know what my purpose is? Well, your purpose is always being played out, but you don't recognize it in that moment. You can't see it because you're blind to your own self. And so then you start to become an observer as you become clean and truthful in each moment of your life. And you respond to everything in each moment of your life from that space of cleanliness and honesty. Then you start to see the value of what you are and who you are in a beautiful way. You can laugh at yourself, and yet you can be firmly rooted in knowing why you are useful to God and the universe. Just clear the fog. So the first place for Gyan is the process of realization with an honest heart. And realization itself is, maafi mangna, maafi karna. It's an act of forgiveness. The realization is an act of forgiveness. It's not realizing if you're told to realize something, but deep inside you, the impulse of purity and truth won't rest with anything limited until you've cleaned it. So with those thoughts, I'd like to stop there.
Thank you so much, Gopi sister. And it's been almost 45 minutes. Thank you immensely. It's a lot of depth of wisdom in the words which you have spoken about. A lot of things to churn on. What is true knowledge? And I mean, if I could just summarize two things which I liked was, if you have this true knowledge, then there are two things you'll get: freedom and happiness. And what is this true freedom? What is this true happiness? Your sanskar parivartan, the sanskar transformation speaks about that. So thank you once again. So should we do a small meditation as well, or should I do the announcements and then we go in the meditation? What do you suggest?
Whatever you wish.
Okay, fine.
Whatever you wish, it's fine by me.
I'll just do the announcements first and then we'll go on to the meditation. So that we leave with that meditative experience. So I'll just quickly share the screen and show you what is for the future upcoming programs. We are still on this insightful journey with Sister Gopi. We'll move on to the next slide. Continuing the Values for Life series, we have the next episode 11th, which is on gratitude, called Abhar or Kritagnata in Hindi, 25th April. And we have extended the time because we find 1 hour becomes too short. So we are doing it 1.5 hours so that you'll have ample of time for questions and even meditation. It will be covered by our very own Sister Shivani. We are thankful that she's giving us this second fortune as well again. She covered determination last time. And then continuing with our Values for Life series, mini workshops as we are doing it today. We'll be doing experiential exercises on the same value, gratitude. And we are again very fortunate to have another beautiful soul who is originally again from London, but right now he's in Turkey, Brother Yogesh Sharda. I'm sure all of you also have listened to him in the past and you're aware of him. So it will be on the Saturday 1st May, because we are doing it on Saturday because it's he's not able to give us time on Sunday. So we'll do it on Saturday 1st May. So kindly note this change, and we'll be keeping in touch with you through WhatsApp messages and emails as well. And we are glad to announce that because the lockdown is going on, it's intensifying. The COVID is just all over the place. We are not able to do our physical facilitation training program. So we are there with our first online facilitation training program of Vihasa. We are happy to announce it's the next weekend. And there are quite a few registrations, almost 30 so far, but people here who are genuinely self-motivated and want to learn facilitation, so they can use that in Seva, in service, particularly online Seva now. They are welcome to register. It will be a 2.5 hour session. The details will follow in the emails. And this is the place to register. We'll be sending it to you, and this is the number where you can contact for further details. So if you want to quickly note down that number, it's 9833904424. And this is the registration form. It's a Google form. It's a clickable link. If you click, you can fill the Google form. For more information, our website is always there, www.vihasa.in. All these sessions by all these fine speakers, all recorded, and they're on the website, so you can feel free to listen to them anytime in future if you happen to miss the live event. You can email to us on our website, on our email, which is vihasaindia@gmail.com, and WhatsApp on this number for any other comments and queries. So with this, I would just stop sharing and I'll be taking the group photo at the end after we finish the meditation, and over to Sister Gopi for the meditation experience. Thank you.
So once again, wherever you are, sit upright. Give your body that respect. And allow yourself to take a couple of deep breaths. And now on the exhale, release any unnecessary energy, mental energy, emotional energy, physical energy, any subtle tension. Just allow that to be released on the out breath. And allow the whole body to come to a state of rest. And bringing your attention into this present moment now. You become aware of all the sounds around you, of the world outside. You ask yourself, who am I? Who am I that's looking out through these eyes? That's listening through these ears? That's speaking through this mouth? Feel yourself inside. The quiet pulse of the gentle soul. The soul that's so sweet, pure, true. Living diamond in the dust of this body. Then this state of peace. Come back home to yourself. With a pure essence of energy, pure being of light, a child of God. And as I become soul aware, I'm becoming aware of the life around me. There's not 7 billion human beings on this planet, but 7 billion souls. Souls of nature, the souls of animals. There's life around me. I am life, living in life. Om Shanti.
Om Shanti. Thank you so much, sister. We are really immensely grateful to Gopi sister for giving this opportunity twice, despite she not having a good health at the moment. Thank you so much, and we wish you a speedy recovery. And I would just request all of you to just the last few minutes, we'll just take a small group photograph, a fond remembrance with Sister Gopi of all of us that she had done a session for us. I'll just request all of you all to take your cameras on. And yeah, so And I'll just go on the second page as well. Let me just copy paste here. And one more. Thank you all once again. And thank you so much for your presence, all of y'all. And goodbye. Om Shanti.